You can find a really good running back anywhere in the 2025 NFL draft and even after the draft. Identify one. So let's get it cracking. Yo, 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 no maniacs, super no maniacs, and all in between. Welcome to another edition of Feed the Bears, man. Let's get right on into it. First, one of the things. Now, this video almost happened at about 1:30 last night, and I'm having so much fun reviewing some of these prospects, man. They're from all over the country. I'm looking at guys. There was some guys I was looking at a D3 Christian school. It's just so many football players with different traits about them that you can see transferring very well to the NFL. And it's just fun going through them, sorting through them, and seeing what I can find. And this guy right here, this is Kylin James, 6 foot, 225 pounds. He's a brute when it comes to running the football, but he's not physical, so that he's not one of those guys that can move very well. No, he can move very, very well. And so this is something. Let me. You're probably going to hear me say this one too many times, but I think it's important to reiterate this when we're talking about some of these prospects, because I think most people, most of the time, they see me identify a guy, put his name out there, physical traits and all that, and they go right to the film, and whatever they see first, I have no idea whether it's that football player's stats, or they go right to the video and start looking at highlights or look at whole film. We got people from different ranges of the spectrum that do it different ways. But here I am trying to do the job of making sure that you guys got families, you got jobs, whatever you got going on, and you don't have time to look at some of the stuff that I do. And so I'm trying to cut through the tape for you guys and get you guys directly to it. So this kid right here, Kylin James, started off at Central Arkansas, a really good back. Ended up probably feeling like he needed to level up to get himself to the next level, and he did that. Went to UNLV. Now, the stats aren't really, nothing that's going to really jump out at you. This is his 2024 stats. He only had 89 carries. He had 89 carries for, to me, that's a whopping 653 yards, 5 touchdowns. And to me, one of the key things when looking at some of these running backs, no matter where you find them at, is the average yards per carry. So he's averaging a whopping 7.3 yards a carry, and that's pretty consistent. That's pretty consistent. He's in college for 4 years. He pretty consistently got somewhere between 7 to 8 yards a touch. That's something that sticks out. Now, other ways you can identify a really good running back is the first two things people tend to pay attention to and notice, and that's I'm trying to color up ways that you can really identify a running back. And the first thing that people think of is speed, power. Speed, power. That's important. It's not an unimportant, feature. But these are other things that you probably should pay a little bit more attention to. Patience. When he gets the ball, how patient is he setting up his blocks? Vision. Does he see what he needs to see when he needs to see it? And another one is acceleration. How quick is he to the trigger, getting on the gas and getting through what he sees set up? Contact balance, another thing that kind of gets lost in the sauce. People just really, really bounce off this guy. And he is an absolute brute when it comes to, okay, I have no other alternative but to run through you. He will do just that. But what really stands out to me with Kylin James is for his size, 225 pounds. That's a big running back. That's a really big running back. He's well built, and his lateral agility. Let me explain, for people who don't necessarily understand that term. Lateral agility is like when the ball gets handed out to the running back and he's in that hole. He sees the hole starting to open up, and all of a sudden there's a football player in the hole, like a linebacker, safety, or whatever it is. He's in the hole. How good is your lateral agility in that moment to juke past him, left or right, shift, juke, whatever you want to call it? You need that as a feature to your running attack, and his is superb. So let me list it again: speed, power. I would just say above average. I would just say that. But patience, superb. Vision, superb. Contact balance, superb. Acceleration when he hits the hole, superb. And so all of those things, he's got this funky stride. And he kind of reminds me of one of my teammates in high school, a fullback we had. I used to tease him all the time. But once he got out in the open, nobody was catching him. a fullback. You know, he had a funky looking stride. So that's something you might notice when you start watching him play, is that stride once he hits open field. It's funky looking, but man, he's moving. I'll tell you that much. Who cares about what it looks like once you got in the open field and you get, you know, you see daylight and you go. Who cares what it looks like? But it is funky looking. You might notice that. I'm sure somebody in the comment section will say something about it. But I'm telling you, all the other features to him, it's hard to find something that you don't like. When you look at Kylin, it's hard to find something that you don't like. But I mean, what I think is more superior in his game than anything else that features, it's his lateral movements in the hole. He'll absolutely make you miss. And that part of it, to me, separates most of the backs. It's if you're in that hole, like Khalil Herbert's one that always comes to my mind when I talk about lateral agility. And I've noticed that about him since he got here. It's like he's a really good, you know, down, just get the ball, one cut, get upfield and accelerate. Really, really good at that. Always was. You can't take that away from Khalil Herbert. But he always, and I mean always, has lacked the ability to move, shift left and right instantly, and on a dime, just move. He would always run into traffic instead of having that ability to bounce out, you know, cut in, whatever it takes to continue that run. He just didn't have it. But this guy he's all aces when it comes to that. That's one of the, in fact, you know, there's a few of them I can think of that comes to mind, like Devin Neal's got superior lateral agility. This guy is right there in that category, very superior lateral agility, and that bodes well for these kind of running backs, man. You got a big guy like that. It's nice to know that he can shift left and right and make people miss. So again, you know, this is another thing too, man. I say this too many times. Don't worry about when you pull up his name, whether or not he's going to get drafted, if he's being considered as a UDFA. Pay no attention to that. None. Pay no attention to that. Focus on the attributes. Because I could think of some guys right now. Every time I hear the word UDFA, I start thinking about John Randall, superstar, you know, defensive tackle for the Vikings. I don't even know how many offensive linemen and D linemen that's ended up in the Hall of Fame that weren't drafted. I mean, the small school guys that end up being Hall of Famers. Look at that. Somebody consider Walter Payton the best football player to ever live from an HBCU. And so don't let where people are projecting a player get into your head and let it overwhelm you so much. And you think this is what you know about this guy. He's not going to get drafted. He's not any good. Get that out of your head. Don't worry about none of that. Just look at the attributes. And let me know in the comment section what you think about Kylin James, 6 foot, 225 pounds out of UNLV. I think you're going to like what you see on tape, because I know I did. I almost made a video at 1:30 in the morning and publish it. But I was like, man, they'll get pissed off. And then nobody wants to hear no notification at 1:30 in the morning. So I'm glad that didn't happen. I waited, but I was excited about this guy when I seen it on film, and I think you guys will too. But that's what I have, man. I'm gonna do several more of these kinds of videos. It's just so many guys to get to. You can't get to them all in one show. So I'm gonna just take my time and start putting out some videos about particular guys that I see. And this is a sneaky good one. So that's what I have for you guys on this video, man. Make sure you guys hit the subscribe button. If you like this content and you want to see me break them down a little bit more and help you identify these guys and cut through the tape for you all, I'm glad to do it. It's a treat for me. So hit the subscribe button for me, man. I'll see you guys in the next video. But I'll leave you guys with this. If you could see it, if you could think it, and you could see it, there's no reason in the world why you cannot absolutely manifest it. Do not, and I repeat, do not be a prisoner of your own mind. But with that being said, I am